Hello there. I want you to think back to this time last year. Go on, think back. Did you have a whisper in your heart? A quiet hope for how this year will be different? Perhaps you whispered, "This is the year I find my voice." Or, "This is the year I finally start that thing I've been dreaming of." Now come back to the present moment. Be gentle with yourself as you ask, how many of those whispers became a conversation? How many of those hopes became a reality? If you feel a pang of regret, a sense of time slipped by, you are not alone. I've been there too, standing on the edge of a new beginning, full of life, only to watch the flames sputter out under the weight of tomorrow. But today I want to tell you a different story. The story of how I stopped whispering someday and started declaring today. My story begins with a microphone, a small black USB microphone I bought with a thrilling vision. The vision was this: I, Rodgers Wafula, will use my voice to talk about mental health. I will start a podcast, create talks that could reach people, offer comfort, and break the silence around pain. I could see it so clearly: the impact, the connection, the purpose. I set it up on my desk. It looked so professional. And then I did use it. For 8 good months, it sat there. Every time I saw it, I felt a mix of excitement and dread. I'll think, I need the perfect concept first. Or, I'll start tomorrow when I buy better recording software. Or, next month when my schedule clears up. That microphone didn't just gather dust. It began to gather shame. Every glance at it was a quiet accusation. You have a message, but you are staying too silent. You are not the healer you claim you want to be. It became a monument to the gap between my calling and my courage. The gap between someday and today. Then one utterly ordinary Wednesday afternoon, I was tired of my own excuses. The thought of producing a full podcast episode with perfect music and editing felt impossible. But the weight of the silent microphone felt heavier. Out of sheer frustration with myself, I didn't make a grand plan. I made a tiny, almost silly bargain. I said, "Rodgers, you don't have to launch a podcast today. You don't even need a name. Just plug in the microphone. For 5 minutes, just 5. Hit record and say one true thing about healing. That's it." I set a timer on my phone. I pressed record. My heart pounded. I said, "Hello. Talking about mental health is hard because..." And I just spoke. For 5 minutes I rambled. I paused. It was messy. When the timer went off, I stopped. I listened back. It was not good. My voice sounded strange to me, but something monumental happened inside me. The heavy shame in that drawer vanished. It was replaced by the electric truth of a beginning. In just 5 minutes, I had done more to become a man who uses his voice than in 8 months of planning. That messy 5-minute recording was the first brick. This talk you are listening to right now, and every talk I've ever given or recorded, is built on that brick. So if you're wondering, can I really do this? I want you to know, the only reason you are hearing my voice right now is because I finally moved from someday to today. And you can too. My name is Rodgers Wafula, also known as Waziri Akili, your mental health minister. I'm a counseling psychologist, a mental health trainer, and a keynote speaker. And my mission today is to give you a simple, powerful tool that will turn your 2026 year from someday into a tangible living today. Someday is the most comfortable prison we build for ourselves. The walls are made of when conditions are perfect. The lock is when I feel ready. We often tell ourselves, I'll start my business someday when I have enough money. I'll mend that relationship someday when I find the right words. I'll prioritize my health someday when work comes down. But someday is a date that does not exist on any calendar. It's a dream without a deadline. And a dream without a deadline is called a fantasy. It lives in your head, not in your life. The tragedy is not that we don't want these things. We desperately do. The tragedy is that we believe the feeling of readiness must come before the action of starting. We are waiting for a motivational thunderclap to strike us before we can take a single step. But here is a psychological truth we must flip upside down. Action does not follow motivation. Motivation follows action. You do not need to feel like a healthy person to go for a walk. You go for a walk, then you begin to feel like a healthy person. You do not need to feel like a confident speaker to introduce yourself. You introduce yourself, and then the confidence grows. The bridge from someday to today is not a magical feeling. It's a tiny, deliberate, almost unsexy action. This is the exact tool I used with my microphone. This is the blueprint for your 2026 transformation. It's not about overhauling your entire life today. No, it's about installing a new engine in your mind, one that runs on intention, not on elusive motivation. So let's build that first engine together right now. So the first step is clarity. Name your tiny target. We are not aiming for get fit or be successful. That's too big. It's a fog. We want a single, clear step you can see. Allow me to ask you, what is the one small, clear action related to your 2026 dream? Is it walk for 5 minutes after breakfast? Write these sentences for my business idea. Write a message, 1 or 2, to an old friend and say hello. That's your target, not the mountain, just the first foothill. Let's go to the second step, which I'm calling constraint and context. This is where we lock it in. A dream without a time and a place is a ghost. It will float away. It will fly away. So ask yourself, when? For instance, it's today at 7:30 a.m. Where? On my street, or at home, or in my bedroom, or on my kitchen table, or on my phone. Be so specific until your brain can see it. Let's move to the third step, and I'm calling it the 5-minute promise. This is where we shrink and shield. This is the magic. You are not committing to changing your life. You are committing to a 5-minute relationship with with your future self. That's the flip. You're not just committing to changing your life, you're committing to 5-minute relationships with your future. So what can you do in 5 minutes that your future self will be grateful for or will thank you for? For instance, you can set a timer for 5 minutes. That's the contract. And then how do you shield it? You silence your phone, you close the extra tabs on your browser. And for these 5 minutes, this is the most important thing in the world because it's a promise to you. You've made it to yourself. Do what you need to do within those 5 minutes, 0 distractions. Let's move to step number 4, and I'm calling it contingency. This is where we develop the if-then plan. We come up with a backup plan. So your old mind will most probably protest it. It will create excuses. So we must outsmart it with a pre-planned response. And the protest that I'm talking about here is the protest to change, to moving out of your comfort zone. Your old way of doing things will not just accept it and move on. No, it will protest. And that's why we need a backup plan to counter the old way of thinking and the old way of doing things. For instance, if I wake up late and feel rushed or late, then what will I do? I will take a 5-minute walk during my lunch break instead. Remember earlier on, the plan was to do the 5-minute walk after breakfast. But if you wake up late, then what is the counter plan? Do it after lunch, not to do away with the plan. No, you just reschedule. That is the if this happens and I'm not able to do this, then what am I going to do? So that you leave nothing to chance and you still give yourself an opportunity to actually do what matters to you. You actually get to actualize that 5-minute relationship with your future self. So this will make you unstoppable and you will be no longer at the mercy of your feelings. I don't feel like it. I don't feel like doing it right now. No, you've planned it, and even when circumstances are not right, you come up with a backup plan on when you're going to do it, not to do away with it. And then the last step, which is step number 5, is all about resuming. So this is the no guilt clause. If you get interrupted, it's not a mark of failure. You simply hit pause. Your only job is to resume with a new 5-minute loop when you can. Progress is never lost. It's only delayed. So when you complete that 5-minute intention, something profound happens in your psyche. You have done more than a small task. You have actually cast a vote. Every completed 5-minute session is a vote for your new identity. I am someone who keeps promises to myself. At first, the old identity, for instance, I'm someone who procrastinates, has all the votes. But as you stack up these tiny wins, these 5-minute wins, the election slowly, surely shifts. So you shift from being someone who always procrastinates or who always plans but never actualizes to someone who keeps promises to themselves or who actually actualizes their plans or work on their plans to the end. And by doing that, you are gathering evidence that you are capable, reliable, and in action. This is how you build a brand new life, not by tearing down the old one in a day, but by laying a new one, small brick every single day. By December 2026, you won't be looking at a pile of dusty dreams, no. You'll be living in a new structure you built, brick by intentional brick by another intentional and purposeful brick. So, let's break it out. The door is not locked. You just need to turn the handle. Look at the dream you have for 2026. Now shrink it down. Shrink it until it's not scary. Shrink it until it fits into 5 minutes tasks that you can undertake on a daily basis. For instance, what is the very first tiny or microscopic step you can take? Is it putting on the running shoes? Is it opening a blank document and typing a title? Is it saying, I love you first? Is it saving 100 shillings in a new envelope? That is your jailbreak. Not a dramatic escape, but a quiet, deliberate walk through an open door you finally decided to use. And here is where I will leave you in this episode. 2026 is not just a year on a calendar. It's a blank canvas of 365 days. You have 365 opportunities to lay a brick. 365 chances to cast a vote for the person you are becoming. Do not let December 2026 find you standing in the same room, looking at the same untouched microphone, carrying the same regret. Your future is not created in grand gestures. It's created in small, repeated, intentional, and purposeful steps. To make this real, I have turned this 5-minute intention builder into a simple, beautiful, downloadable guide. It's your personal blueprint. To get it, simply type my 2026 in the comments of this video or send me a direct message with those words. I will send it to you for free. Take it, use it, start with one thing. Let today be the day your someday finally ends. For daily encouragement and practical psychology, please follow me, Waziri Akili, on Facebook and TikTok. And you can also subscribe to my YouTube channel, Waziri Akili, for weekly fuel for your journey and for other mental health discussions, talks, tips, insights, knowledge, information, and all that. And if you want to build this new life with dedicated guidance and deep support, I am here. I offer counseling and mental health coaching to help you design and live your best year. Please reach out. Let's do this work together. The best year of your life does not start in January. It starts right now. It starts in the next 5 minutes. So what are you going to do with your next 5 minutes? You are not just dreaming of a new year. You are building it. And at that particular point, I am signing out. Waziri Akili, your mental health minister. Let's begin.